Also new at noon, we know who the murder suspect is police were chasing on the southeast side of San Antonio overnight. 19-year-old John Michael Zimmers is charged with the murder of Gloria Zapata. Police say Zimmers shot and killed her November 20th on Pecan Valley Drive. He's also facing felony evading and possession of marijuana charges. Now, police attempted to stop Zimmers along Pecan Valley Drive. He took off, speeding down the highway and into a neighborhood, and while trying to get away, he hit a car with a family in it, then drove into an auto parts store. Both the people, adults in that car, were taken to the hospital. Zimmers and a woman in his car were also taken to the hospital. We'll have more information on that case on Eyewitness News at 5.